Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. This is going to be a very tricky fight, largely because um, it feels like Roman Dolidze has been improving in his past couple of fights. But I mean, like, look at who he's been fighting. I mean, in his previous fight, he was fighting Anthony Smith. So it's hard to gauge, but in all honesty, I thought he was going to lose that particular fight. I thought Anthony Smith is not necessarily the greatest athlete, or rather, recently. Let me just say, recently he hasn't been performing that well. So I thought he wasn't that bad that he couldn't get past the middleweight that was not necessarily bulking up to move up to light heavyweight. But that's beside the point. He actually ended up losing. Um, on the other hand, Marvin Vittori obviously has a victory over Roman Dolite. And Marvin Vittori was actually outstriking Roman Dolite. Both of them have decent ground game, but obviously the most threatening of the two is Roman Dolite. If it comes down to a submission, and if you are going to try to predict who's going to get the submission in this particular fight, it's probably going to be Roman Dolite, which is one of the reasons why in the first fight I'm assuming that Marvin Vittori didn't even try to take the fight to the ground. Both of them have decent ground game, but Marvin Vittori is more of a wrestler who basically controls you and wins the decision, whereas what do you call him? Roman Dolite actually gets submissions and he finishes fights. Um, so it's kind of going to be a little bit tricky to actually gauge who's going to get it done. But obviously, my subscribers and I have went with Marvin Vittori. But as far as risk levels, in all honesty, my subscribers said this fight is 83% risky, and I said it's 75% risky. Um, because of the fact that there are so many unknowns, Marvin Vittori has not performed, or rather has not fought in a very long time. So it's kind of challenging to actually gauge how good he is or has become, or has he declined. But I mean, he's still in his prime. In his defense, I mean, Marvin Vittori, which is crazy to think that Marvin Vittori can actually still make a title run, because he's like 31 right now, and he still has like 4 years left in order to maybe attempt to actually build himself up. Whereas Roman Dolidze is like 36 years old. Even if he still performs good, the probability of him becoming a champion is significantly low. So in this particular situation, I also feel like Marvin Vittori is going to have the advantage as far as striking goes. I feel like Marvin Vittori is probably going to have the wrestling advantage, which, if you've listened to my channel, I favor wrestlers over grapplers, wrestlers over jiu-jitsu practitioners, because I feel like, I don't know, control over submission for me personally. I feel like jiu-jitsu practitioners do not understand how to control people on the ground. They just know how to try and finish a fight, and wrestlers can deal with that. So I would even favor Marvin Vittori if the fight went to the ground. I don't see a situation where Roman Dolidze takes down Marvin Vittori unless he has somehow improved his wrestling, of which I doubt. I see this fight playing out on the feet, and on the feet, I'm going to lean more towards Marvin Vittori. I think he's more technical of the two, which is crazy to say about Marvin Vittori. But yeah, that's basically it. My subscribers and I are going with Marvin Vittori. Should be an interesting fight. Um,